Hey everyone, if you want to make your own podcast but you don't know where to begin, Spotify for Podcasters makes it super easy. They've got everything in one place, it's totally free, and you can make money while doing it. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start doing it today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and pretty much everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also supported, and you can even conduct polls and Q&As. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, the platform is totally free. No catch, totally free. When I wanted to start my own podcast, I did not know where to begin, and I didn't think it was even possible. And Spotify for Podcasters made it happen. They made it easy, they made it quick, and I am doing something that I love. What more can I ask for? So if you're interested in starting your own show, you can do it, and I highly recommend you give this a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Everything Kratom, the podcast about anything and everything Kratom. Before we jump in today, just wanted to let you all know that now, officially, you can support this podcast. That's right. There's a link in the description. If you feel like clicking on that and showing your support, you can even just donate 99 cents a month if you want. But any little bit would help. And I hope you guys are enjoying this show and find it interesting. If so, that's one way of showing it. So please do think about clicking on that link and showing your support. Thanks so much. So today I thought we'd look at some combinations that I like to have in place with Kratom. And then some that maybe I don't. You know, everybody's body's different. That's kind of the theme of the show. But be interested in, exploring different combinations that work for other people as well. So maybe we can talk about that some other time. But today I'm going to go over a few things that I think go really well with Kratom and a few things I think don't. So here we go. All right, jumping in. So one that you'll probably find a lot when you're doing a Google search of combinations with Kratom or something like that, turmeric. Turmeric definitely works. That would be my main takeaway. I didn't buy it when I first heard about it. I just, I'm a skeptical person, honestly. I didn't even believe in the power of plants for a long time, but I've been turned around and now I see what they can do. So I definitely didn't believe turmeric would have much of an effect. Don't buy the capsules. Never buy the capsules. Buying capsules of turmeric is so expensive. I mean, you can just, buy turmeric. Buy turmeric and measure it out yourself with a spoon. I mean, what the heck? But anyway, just, I've found that taking maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of turmeric is enough to potentiate the effects of Kratom. I haven't found much of a difference based on white, green, or red Kratom, to be honest. But I have found that overall it does potentiate the effects of Kratom, and I really enjoy turmeric anyway. So having a little bit of turmeric, mixing it in water, taking a swig of that. I have experimented with taking it both before and after taking Kratom. I've found that if you've taken Kratom first, or if I have rather, I think that it works better than if I take turmeric first. So I would recommend trying to take some of your Kratom first and then waiting 5 minutes and then taking a quarter of a teaspoon of turmeric. Not much. You don't need much, I don't think. So that's one really great combination. It really makes the effects last longer, and I think it makes them more pronounced. Let's see what we got next here. Magnesium. Magnesium is another one that you'll find if you do some searches. I've tried magnesium as well. I really think that it does work. I really think that you can go overboard with it too quickly. So I think that it's something to try, but be wary of how much. I've taken too much magnesium before, and it made me really dizzy, and nausea. I had nausea, and it was not a good time. So for magnesium, who knows? Maybe it's better to buy capsules of magnesium just so it's pre-measured and take the minimum amount. Maybe my body's just very, susceptible to the effects of magnesium. I don't know. But anyway, it did potentiate the effects of kratom when I did it right. Just a little bit of magnesium. And I found that it especially pronounced the reds. So if you're trying to make your reds last longer, maybe a bit more stronger of an effect, magnesium might be a good way to go. But do take it easy on the magnesium. Caffeine, I feel like caffeine is just too broad of a way to talk about it because you can take caffeine in so many ways. Like you can take caffeine with coffee. You could take caffeine in the form of an energy drink. You could take caffeine in the form of black tea or green tea. So, and all those things affect me differently when it comes to how they, interact with kratom. So it's hard for me to talk about caffeine on its own. I don't think I've ever taken a caffeine pill. So in other words, just straight caffeine with kratom. So that would be an experience that I'd like to hear about from someone else. But when it comes to, let's just run down the list here. Energy drinks. If you're drinking an energy drink, you're obviously getting more than just the caffeine, which is fine. And maybe there are some things in the energy drink that are interacting with the kratom as well. But since it's such a strong caffeine content, I think it's worthy of bringing up in this category. I've found that with energy drinks, I can do, I don't know, if I have like a gram or gram and a half of any of my favorites, types of kratom within any of their categories or varieties of red, green, or white, mainly red or white. I don't do greens that much. Energy drinks can be really, really wild. They can be really helpful. It can also be way too much. So I wouldn't go overboard your first time, but having an energy drink with a red variety of kratom can actually be really cool because you get the energy from the energy drink, but, the red variety of kratom, takes away my jitters, at least. And I always get jitters with caffeine if I'm going to have caffeine. So it's a real perk, and I think that it syncs really nicely. If you're talking about coffee, I find, and it's, I know this is different for everyone. I find that coffee kills kratom for me. I can't really drink coffee with kratom. I find that pretty much any type of kratom that I take, the effects are entirely erased within 10 minutes of a cup of coffee. Don't know why. Maybe there's a scientist out there that can shed a little light on that one. Then moving into, black tea. I think I've mentioned this before. Black tea is like my favorite thing to have with kratom, especially a Thai kratom with Blue Lotus, which that's the next thing I'm going to go over. But black tea, the reason why I like black tea and green tea is because the L-theanine in it. Theanine? I think it's L-theanine. However you say it. L-theanine. That is the one for me. Best combo ever. What I like to do, enhanced Thai, then 50 to 1 extract Blue Lotus powder, and green tea or black tea. Get the theanine, little caffeine, but really it's for the theanine, folks. Oh man. I'm drinking some tea right now. Anyway, that's my favorite combo. I think that the caffeine does have an effect that's positive in that case, but I think the theanine is really the star of the show. It has this relaxing, soothing quality to it that's already syncing with the caffeine. So you've got your energy, you've got your soothing, and then you've got your kratom, and somehow it's like, trifecta of goodness. I feel like I'm on cloud 9 whenever I'm doing that. Blue Lotus, folks, Blue Lotus. If you don't know about Blue Lotus, check it out. I discovered Blue Lotus the same day, or maybe it was the next day after I discovered kratom. Same friend who introduced me to Kratom gave me a Blue Lotus lemon shot. And so good. Blue Lotus is a lily. It's a flower. Water lily. And I think it comes from Egypt. People in ancient Egypt used to use Blue Lotus to socialize. They'd smoke it, they'd drink it in a tea, or they would soak it in red wine for like a month. And then they'd drink the red wine, and it apparently had some psychotropic effects, which is really amazing. I'd love to try that. But Blue Lotus and Kratom are like, oh man, peanut butter and jelly. I swear to God. You gotta go check that out. Blue Lotus is very cheap as well. Oh, what else? We got anything else? I think those were the ones that I wanted to go over that worked really well for me. The ones that don't work well for me. I've had diphenhydramine or diphenhydramine. Benadryl, folks. Benadryl. Anything like that. Had diphenhydramine and Kratom at the same time. Did not work. Made me feel really dizzy. Made me feel sick to my stomach. Did not go over well. I wouldn't suggest it. However, everybody's body's different. You do you. Another thing, I got really, really sick off of having Kratom mixed with orange juice. I know that's kind of a common way of taking it. I'm actually surprised that people take it that way. I mean, I've found that anything citrusy with it does not go over well with me. Maybe my belly's just a bit sensitive, who knows? But it is not a good combo for myself, so I wouldn't recommend it. So those are some things that don't go well for me. What else doesn't go well for me? Oh, so here's something interesting. CBD. CBD does work very well with Kratom for me. THC completely erases the effects. Don't know who else finds that to be the true, but THC kind of acts like coffee when it comes to, how it just gets rid of the effects of Kratom for me. Don't know why. Don't know why at all. But CBD is a great combo, and I find that it just kind of acts like theanine. It just enhances the soothing qualities, and doesn't really take away from the Kratom, but it actually enhances it. So I would recommend CBD any day. Drinking more of my tea here. We got anything else? I don't think so. I think that those were the main ones that I wanted to cover. Oh, boy, I keep on forgetting things. New to podcasting, folks. Gotta take it easy on me. The last thing here. Okay. LSD. I've had Kratom on LSD before. It's gone two different ways. If I have a white variety of Kratom on LSD, it doesn't go over too well for me, no matter when I take it in the trip. Don't know why, but I end up having, I kind of have these like wormhole, thoughts. Maybe it's just the uppity part of the white variety that does that, but it kind of sends me into a loop in my head, and I kind of have trouble coming back down to ground, if you know what I mean. Red varieties and a little bit of green goes over fine. I actually really enjoy it. It takes away a little bit from the LSD, I think, personally, but it's a really nice way to get grounded while you're still experiencing a pretty, good trip. You can also take you can also take Kratom when you're coming up on LSD, and before you've peaked. It might kill the peak a little bit, depending. For me, sometimes it does, but I haven't done this in a while, mind you. But sometimes it would kill the peak for me. But other times it would make the come up really pleasant rather than being like anxiety ridden, which normally if I've had something to trip on, the come up is just kind of, I have a lot of anxiety until I actually peak. But Kratom kind of takes that away. So that's something to think about as well. Tobacco, I don't smoke tobacco, never have. So don't really know what that would be like. And alcohol, another one of those things. It just kills it, man. Just takes away the effects. Don't know if that's the case for other people, but there's not really a positive or negative attribute to it. It just kind of takes away the Kratom for me. So if I'm ever trying to get benefits from Kratom, I usually don't have THC, coffee, alcohol, any of that. Usually try to avoid that. So those are some combos that I thought would be of interest to people. I'm sure a lot of them you've seen online, but sometimes it's just fun to hear about someone else's experience when it comes to those combos. So I hope you enjoyed that, and looking forward to being back with you again tomorrow. All right, I'm going to have some white variety right now. Have a good day, everybody.